today's video is gonna be kind of different, as you can tell by the title. I'm gonna be sharing my testimony of how I came to God, what my life was like before, and I didn't plan on sharing this anytime soon. I was just watching somebody else's testimony, and then I could hear a soft whisper in my ear, accompanied by a very uncomfortable feeling that says, share your testimony, share your testimony. And I've watched many other testimonies before around the time that I've been making videos on this channel, and that was the first time that I ever heard that. So I knew it had to be God telling me to do it. And you know it's from God when you know it's something He would want you to do, but you feel uncomfortable in your flesh to do it. So I'm gonna try to be as quick as I can, because honestly, I don't feel like it's gonna be that long, but yeah. So, start of my life was pretty normal. I grew up with really only living with my mom. I know my dad, and I still see my dad sometimes, but you know, he and my mom split sometime after I was born. So I didn't really see him that much growing up. But if I like an important event, you know, he would still make his way to like be there, you know. I didn't really grow up Christian. I mean, my mom's Catholic. But even then, I didn't really grow up being religious. I believed in God all my life, but I didn't know anything about Him. I didn't know the gospel. I didn't really know about Jesus' sacrifice either. Like, I remember when I was walking in my elementary school hallway, like, I remember asking my mom, did Jesus die by a meteor? Like, did He die saving the earth from a meteor? Like, in my, 5-year-old brain, I just imagined a big meteor coming to earth and Jesus standing in the way like this, and then I just imagined that's how He died and saved the world. I didn't know about the cross or Him dying for our sins. I didn't know any of that. But most of my childhood was pretty normal, you know. Grew up watching cartoons like Jet's not a cartoon, it's a sitcom. Watching sitcoms, cartoons, whatever, right? Playing video games. I got my first PlayStation as a gift. It was a PlayStation 2. I had like Spider-Man, a racing game. I think it was like Hot Wheels or something. Spyro the Dragon. You know, I would play that with, you know, family members that would come over. I would restart the game every time I was losing because I hated losing. Yeah, pretty much for a good portion of my life was normal until, I guess, I encountered my first spiritual attack, I guess you could say. This is the part I really don't want to share because it's kind of unusual, but I don't know what y'all experience with tickling would have been. A lot of people hate it, but from the times it happened to me, in, you know, a fun way, wasn't traumatized or anything, I liked it, and somehow it just turned into, you know, a very, very big obsession. Like, I remember sitting in my room one day, and for some reason I just got the thought, I'm gonna search up tickling images on Google. I'm gonna just look at that. And then over the course of some time, it ended up actually watching tickling videos, which sounds harmless, but that actually opened up doors to, you know, me watching sexual pornography later on. Because I would see women have naked or fully naked. I don't know why that's there on YouTube, but whatever. I would see them half naked or fully naked in these very fetishized contraptions, like being in bondage or blindfolded or gagged, which is something that I still struggle with liking to this day. And I would watch that a lot on the iPad my mom bought me if she was at work or out the house or just doing something, not being in my proximity. I would watch it, and I think now it was mainly just seeing women in that state and actually like seeing them that way that was making me stay the most, not the actual tickling part. There was actually a period where I just watched women be tied up and in bondage physically while the devil was working and using that to bondage me spiritually. So as I wanted to see more and more of this content, like literally anything with tickling or sexual pornography, anything that I thought of seeing would not be without bondage, literally. So the more videos I watch, the more I want to see. And that's actually how I found Pornhub, like my actual first porn site. Because as I'm watching more tickling videos, I want to see more. And also the fact that the ones that I actually wanted to watch on YouTube that were becoming more and more explicit, I'll click on it, YouTube says, what's your age? So I'm like, I'm just going on the internet. So I go on the internet, I go on, actual Pornhub, and that's when I am exposed to something I ain't never heard of or seen before, like literally never heard of or seen before. I see women way more, what's the word? I see way more explicit things of women than I've ever seen before. I actually see like this area for the first time. And I don't really remember how I reacted to it. I was just simply there to watch my videos. So I just searched up tickling videos and went on with my day. But the more I consumed that content, the more I was liking seeing people in bondage, tied up, the more I would go on those sites. And, it came to a point where I guess I got bored with watching tickling and just transferred over to the side of sexual immorality. Like I would just watch it became entertainment for me. Like it was a 24/7 cycle. I would wake up, I would get my phone. When I got a phone around the time I was in middle school. So I was just watching the videos consistently, watching women get sexually roughed around, just experiencing sex in all the wrong ways. And it tainted my mind, eventually watching hentai and uncovering a lot of things. Like, I would associate bondage with a lot of things. And the more I just sunk into that hole, the more it started attacking my self-worth. Because now I'm thinking, oh, this is what a man is supposed to do. This is how a man should be able to treat a woman in the bedroom. Oh, this is what women like. Just completely sink it into what the world says, what love is, or how a man is supposed to be sexually and all those other things, right? And I'm just sinking into a lot of things. And I'm actually losing myself. Because I never really had a defined image of who I am. Never did. Like for a while, I would always just try to copy people I saw who I thought looked cool or acted cool. Because I would just feed off of what I was seeing. I would watch a lot of videos and I guess idolize a lot of people. Especially people that, you know, grew up in the hood. Like I grew up in a suburban, like, area. Like I didn't really have anybody. Like I grew up as an only child. The people I'm still close to this day, like I would only see them sometimes. They would come up to my house sometimes, and every time they did, it would be fun, but for the most part, it was really just me and my mom. So, the people that I would tend to look up to were people on the internet or people that I would meet while playing on my PlayStation. In fact, the people that I looked up to the most were the people that I have separated from recently. And those people were really there for most of my life. Like for every stage of my life, they were there. I've known these people since I was in elementary school, literally. So from the time I was in elementary school to being in middle school to being in high school, having my first girlfriend, becoming an adult because I'm 18 now. A lot of the milestones in my life, they was there for. So over time, these people went from just being people I knew on a game, just playing the game with, just became people that I would look up to, and they became more like family to me. Like, actually felt like I had brothers, like, and I still count them as my brothers to this day and always will. But one thing about life, you know, depending on the path you take, you may not be able to take everybody with you. And I cried about this for like 2 days. Like I'm not the type of person to genuinely cry. I'm mainly the type of person that keeps his emotions inside. And that's something God has definitely worked to fix, because over the recent years I've found myself becoming more expressive, or not expressive, more open with myself and especially to Him. Don't be afraid to be open to God. Like there's no ritual when you go to pray to God, because God knows the ins and outs of you, and He wants you to be 100% with Him. One thing I learned is God wants you to be truthful, and He wants your whole heart. He just wants you to be real with Him. If you're mad at Him, talk to Him about that. You know, like convey that to Him. If you're angry, if you're sad, God is there for all of your moments. So don't try to shut yourself in and hold yourself to this like religious pattern or cycle of how you think you're supposed to talk to God. Because at the end of the day, He's your Father and you're His child, and He wants you to talk to Him as such. He wants you to ask questions. He wants you to talk to Him about your day, about what you're going through, what you experience. He wants you to come to him with your decisions. He wants to be in your life because he gave his life so you could be with him again. Throughout the Old Testament and through Jesus' sacrifice, we can truly see that God will go through thick and thin to be as close to us as possible. And that should just show the depth of his love. Everything the world has made you feel uncomfortable about in yourself, in your identity, who you are, what you believe in. God wants to fix all of that and break down all those strongholds and lies. And I can tell you that with confidence because that's what he's done for me. Like, I know who I am. I know that I don't gotta look for people to find validation and look to people to find validation in. And I can just look to God. And simply just from naturally doing that, I'm now seeing who I am, what I like, what I don't like, my true beliefs, what I stand on. And that's being formed through biblical truth, through God speaking to me the more I dive into his word, which becomes more easier to understand because I'm just simply letting God speak to me through his word. And if you just live your life naturally, adopting the principles that God teaches, that's when it becomes a little bit easier to follow him. Because I overthink a lot still to this day. A few years ago, before I gave my life to Christ, bad. My mind, complete war zone. Like, my mind was filled with nothing but sex or porn, very low self-esteem, very low self-worth. Using porn and these fantasies that will come up in my head to make myself feel something, or convince myself that I'm somebody. And there's one thing that God has revealed to me by leaving the people that I knew for like 9 to 10 years. Like, literally, the people I left for literally like my whole life, literally. But it wasn't until I actually separated from them that I realized how much of my life revolved around them. And I don't blame them for that in any way, shape, or form, because this is literally all on me. Like, I was an impressionable kid. Like, the way I talk now is as a result of me just copying how they were talking and what they were saying. So now I feel like I'm really on a self journey with God. Can it really be a self journey if you're doing it with God? I guess, maybe. But now I feel like I'm figuring out who I am. Like, God's revealing to me who I am. And slowly breaking down the strongholds and reasonings that I had for going to porn and for indulging in fantasies where I would make myself the main character of these hardships and just people watching me and, praising me. Not praising, but I guess it would be like praise, but not like getting down on their knees. Like, if y'all watch anime, all the supporting cast looks at the main character when they're pushing through trials or tribulations, or they just won't give up, like, whoa, wow, or you can do it. Like, that's really how my fantasies, I call them anime fantasies, would go. Like, I would imagine myself reenacting a scene in my head that I would see in anime, and just putting myself in that situation with my friends and family, and even their friends and family, watching me go through these trials and stuff like that. But it wasn't healthy. If it sounds healthy in any way to you, it wasn't healthy, because that's what I was basing my self-worth around. And when I would actually go in public, I would think about that so much in private that it would transfer publicly. And people I didn't even know, I would insert them into my fantasies. Like, that was making me want to be the center of attention, when in all reality, I don't like when all eyes are on me. I'm very quiet. I'm quiet. I won't go up to somebody unless they come up to me first. In middle school, I would sit at lunch by myself simply because I wanted to. We had the chance to sit wherever we wanted. I would just sit by myself. And I would have people or administrators come up to me and be like, do you want me to get someone you to sit next to you? And I was like, no, I'm good. I like being by myself. So that's what I was finding my identity in, like my fantasies, porn, because I wanted to feel like I was being somebody. Because I was very lazy. Like, most of my days just was waking up, watching porn all throughout the day, playing games. I didn't even know what I wanted to do before I met God. Like, I can honestly say I didn't have a life when I met God, before I met God. And even when I met God, or when he met me, I didn't have a life. I was just trapped in a mental cycle of my own prison. And it was honestly that core of no self-worth that led me to go deeper and deeper into porn. Like, I'm in a wheelchair, and I'm probably gonna start saying things that I didn't even plan to say, but let the Holy Spirit talk and let God's will reign over mine. I'm in a wheelchair, okay? So I've been insecure about that my whole life. That's another part God has fixed in me, because, you know, he showed me that just because I'm in a wheelchair don't make me any less valuable than anyone else. And he's actually, you know, showed that to me, because one of the reasons I was watching porn was because, you know, I wanted a relationship. But I feared, because of the world we live in, you know, sex is very like, I was scared that even if I had a girlfriend, like, I wouldn't be able to please her sexually. And I didn't really know how to be a man and satisfy my woman in other ways that aren't sex. I didn't know how to do that. So that's all I was thinking about. And that's all I was seeing. And at the ripe age of 13, that's all, you know, boys my age and even girls would talk about. So me being in a wheelchair, already having low self-worth, I was like, dang. So how am I gonna please my woman? I mean, like, I don't even know if my bottom parts work, dude. Like, my legs don't work. My brain and my lower half are not like this. So what the flip am I gonna do? So I was just like looking at my body, and I was like, dang, bro, what are we gonna do? I was sexualizing women a lot, because if I couldn't do it physically, might as well do it mentally, dude. Which is very disrespectful to women. Because, you know, God made you to be the beautiful creatures that you are. And the beautiful creatures that you are not just what you can see physically, but it's not what's on the inside. It's the personality, you know. God made us to be uniquely different. I'm really a dude that when you get to know me, I just say what comes to mind. Like, I don't really plan nothing out. And people find that funny in a good way. Like, my friends, when I would say something random, they'd just be like, bro, you really a character. Bro, like, bro. So like, and I'm just telling you from my experience, because the more I'm saying this, the more I'm realizing like my core problems. Just be yourself, bro. Like, God put you on this earth for a great purpose, but also for you to just live out who you want to be, or just who you are. And if I can make your Christian life, your walk with God, any more simple, and this is from my personal experience, walking with God is like any other way of living. And I simply say that because before God, we were living our own way. But the thing I've come to realize is there were certain parts of us that were genuine. There are certain parts of us that, though we are now walking with Christ and taking it seriously, which I hope you are, those elements still remain. But it's simply just the acts that we were doing and the principles, the worldly principles and values that we were living by that would influence, a behavior that wasn't of God. You were always living in a personality that God created you with. It's just simply the lifestyle and thought process that the world was feeding you that made you live in a way that wasn't ordained with God. So the way you are, if you're just a naturally funny person, however you may act on a daily basis, don't try to hide that. Just live as that, because that's who God made you to be. But there's certain tweaks in your thought process, certain intentions in your heart that do need to be fixed. But at the core, you are who God made you to be. And that's why God just wants us to be 100%. He don't want us to act like these people that we're really not. Because God knows who we are truly on the inside. And He's trying to bring that out while also fixing those damaged parts of us that make the natural part of us feel worthless or not good enough. And, put those away so we can try to create this identity that fits in with other people's beliefs. You were made to be different, and being different is not a bad thing. So that's what porn and my fantasies were doing to me. And I'm not gonna say how far I went into porn. Just know, actually I can say some things. I started going from women to men to trans people. Like, I was like, when you're really just stuck inside the house with porn at your disposal 24/7, you can really see how far it can deteriorate your mind if you let it. And that's what I was doing. I was really just like, hey, wherever I go, I go. And I was really in the darkest depths. Like, I couldn't focus on anything else but porn. Like, if I was in VC with my friends, while they were talking, I'm searching up, I'm scouring every porn site, looking for the next video. I would even keep tabs open, be like, yeah, I'm gonna watch this one later tonight. Hold on, let me look at the preview. Oh yeah, this is the one. It's the one. Yeah, just keep that tab open, just the one. I would do it near family, near friends, at school. Like, I didn't care where I was. And I even told my mom this. I didn't care where I was. I would do it in the car with you. I would do it when we were in your family. I would do it when I was at school. I would do it on the bus. I didn't care where I was. As long as you couldn't see my screen, I was going to watch what I was watching. As long as you didn't see what I was watching. And that just brought a lot of shame and guilt. And it came to a point where I was just mindlessly drifting. Like I wasn't watching it because I liked it anymore. I was simply watching it just to watch it. Like I even told my friends, if I mention friend throughout this video, I'm talking about my brothers, the people who I split from, because they'll always be brothers to me in my heart. So I even told this to one of my brothers, like, I'm not even watching it to feel anything anymore. I'm literally just watching it just to watch it. I'm watching it as a choice at this point. Like, I wasn't even watching it because I was tempted to. That's when like the devil had me. He didn't even have to tempt me to watch it. It just became a regular day. Like wake up, watch porn, turn it off for a bit, maybe do some schoolwork, maybe do some schoolwork, try doing my schoolwork. Huh, that's a nice thought. Grab my phone. And that's how I was behind. That's why I got behind of all my assignments. And I was doing school online. So I was like, I got time. Horrible mindsets. And all that came with it was more lack of self-worth, a little bit of depression, a lot of overthinking. And yeah. And I realized I needed to stop slowly after my first relationship. Cause, you know, there was a time that me and one of my brothers, you know, we would make videos on TikTok. Like we both liked anime and we both liked making videos. Cause, you know, at some point in my life, when I was younger, 13, a little bit earlier, like 9, 10, I loved making videos. I wanted to make gaming videos, so that's what I did as a kid. But for, you know, a while I stopped. But then like my brother was like, hey yo bro, we should, you trying to make anime videos on TikTok? And I was like, at first I was like, nah man, I'm cool. Cause he was doing it. And like me and this one, you know, we was close. Like literally when I said I'm finna leave, cause we had a Discord server with like all of us were in it. Like everyone I was playing with in my PlayStation days, we transferred over to Discord, and that's when we became like more of a family. Like it wasn't just gaming. We talk about real world things about going on in our life. And you know, when I left, it wasn't just because of the game, it's just how we evolved as people that really hurt me. To like be like, now we go our separate ways, and now I'm trying to leave because I want to see what God has for me. So, you know, we grew up on the game, but we really grew up together. So, yeah, so this was somebody that I grew a deep connection with. Like, the more we got to know each other, talking every day, playing a game every day on the phone, in a PlayStation party, in a Discord VC every day, like. And he was the last person I talked to when I left. So hopefully that conveys how close I was with this person alone. Had that with like 8, 9 other people, destroyed. So he's like, I'm finna make anime vids on TikTok. You wanna do it with me? And at first I was like, nah, cause I was I was kind of out of the content creation, but like slowly after I said that, I got video ideas in my head, like, and I believe that this was God, planting that seed, because I'm making videos about him now, and I thoroughly enjoy it. Like, I actually enjoy it, along with, like, I guess the caring nature he put inside me, because I love helping people. Whenever I see y'all's comments on my videos saying like the video helped you in some way, it generally makes me happy. So like the videos were coming in my head, like I was getting like 10 videos idea at once. So I'm like, I called him back up. I was like, you know what? I'll do it. So, we was doing that content creation for a bit. And like a few months after that, we both getting followers. We enjoying what we doing. And we was like, I think he brought up the idea. He was like, why don't we make a Discord server? Make a server with the game. And, we just try to create a community with other people who like anime. I'm like, I'm down. So we make it. Discord server was called like Weep Central. Terrible. Like, we would constantly go back in time and just talk about how terrible that server was. It was good for a while until it grew. I don't even know how many people were in there total. It wasn't like 1,000 or nothing crazy like that. It wasn't that big, but the amount of drama over the most little or insignificant stuff was crazy. Like, there was literally not a day that I went by that an argument took place, and it was never over something serious. Maybe like one time, but all the other arguments, never. Like, it was over dumb stuff, bro. And like, we were like, bro, there's no way. So we created that server, a complete disaster. But out of that server is actually how I got my first relationship. And mind you, I'm still consuming a lot of porn. My mind is very tainted with how sex should be, how a relationship should be, how a man should be. Like, still tainted with all of that. And honestly, I was by myself a lot because I was closing myself in, just watching pornography. So when the server was created, I wasn't even active at all. Like, I would miss the majority of the conversations. Like, it was mainly like my brothers, and our other friend who was talking in that server mainly. I was barely part. I would pop in sometimes, but I was really just doing my own thing for real. So around this time, there was a girl that joined the server, and that was around the time that I would talk a little bit more. And my brother, the one I created the server with, he told me that he was in a VC with her one time with our other friend, and she just basically said, like, I think he said that she said, like, she asked if I was single, or she said that she liked me. And she would openly say it in the server too, that she liked me. And like, my brothers really do love me. So when he heard that, he was a geek. And I remember, because they do this every time, like, they did this every time, like, I would get associated with a girl. Like, they would get happy for me. Or if they would try to set me up with a girl, they would be like, hey, Nate, bro. Come talk to this girl, bro. She like you, bro. I'm like, cause I was nervous, bro. Again, like, very nervous person, especially when it came to women. I'm like, Bro, come on, bro. Come on, bro. Tee up, bro. So, he would constantly say, hey, bro, she like you. And even the friend she made in the server was like, blessed, because that was my name in the server. Like, blessed, she likes you. She's very pretty. You won't regret it. She like you. Like, bro. And like, I just pretended not to care. And even though, I did. So to make this a bit quicker, I started talking to her, and, I don't really like how the relationship started off. And to be even more transparent, I never asked her to be my girlfriend, and she never asked me to be my boyfriend. We identified as that, but, somehow it never popped up in any of our heads to ask, hey, you want to be my girlfriend? You want to be my boyfriend? We just was simply talking a lot and really liked each other. So I guess in our heads, we just assumed, hey, this is my woman, this is my man. But the relationship started off very sexual. And I take blame on that. Cause what did I do? We was talking for a bit, but then I sent like an image, a hentai image of like a girl sucking a dude. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, you like that? And she was like, yeah. So in my 15-year-old head, I already filled with sexual desire. That was like the green light for me. I'm like, bet. So we just start talking. Conversations are very sexual, but consensual. And this was the thing about me. Like, even though I was, very sexual in mind, I had boundaries. And what I mean by that is like, if you didn't want to talk about it, if you were uncomfortable with it, I would stop. Like, if I saw you were uncomfortable, like, I would stop. Like if you genuinely directly said, don't talk about this anymore, I would stop. Cause I'm a caring person. If something makes you uncomfortable, then I'm gonna lock in, and I'm gonna like I take things like seriously. Like, I remember there's this friend I made a few years ago who I'm still friends with, and I remember she told me, like, while we were talking, and I met her on Discord. I don't know her in real life, so I met her on Discord. And she was like, you're really somebody that I can trust. And this was like a week or two after us talking and just being friends, talking about anime and stuff like that. And she was like, I really feel like I can trust you. And I was like, I didn't say anything, but in my mind, I'm like the second she said that, I locked in. I'm like, I'm not going to do anything to betray that trust. And I still haven't to this day. I take that very seriously. Like, I'm a person who goofs around a lot, but if you tell me something serious, I'm gonna really like lock in and be, okay, I got you. So yeah, the conversation was just very sexual, but I also did try to like get to know more about her. But this is where I was going wrong, because the conversation was very sexual because that's all that was in my head. And I guess in a way, like, I was just using her in a way to fulfill my own lustful desires, because she liked the same things I liked, sexually. So that was mainly what the conversations would be. But we still talked about regular stuff, and what I'm realizing from this situation was I did love her. I did. I loved her. I cared about her. But it was just my lust was so strong that I could mainly really only think about sex. But I really did think about having good moments with her, like looking at the stars, the sky, having good, funny moments, dumb moments. Because, we both had our dumb moments. We had our cute moments and stuff like that, which I always cherish. But, it was just that lustful desire eating away at me. And honestly, this was the first girl that I ever had normal thoughts about. Like any other girl I liked, straight sexual thoughts. But this one I was like, dang, bro. I think I really want to have a life with this girl. I really want to take her on dates, have fun times, have stupid times, have dumb times, laugh about, dumb things, really be in a relationship. But I was never really able to be the man that I could for her, because I was very insecure. I would overthink a lot. And when you're in a relationship, that's never a good place to be in, especially since at that time still I'm very insecure or have very low self-esteem. And I actually even communicated that to her. And this is where God showed me that my disability don't matter. Because when she liked me, she knew I was disabled, but she didn't care about that. And that's real love, bro. If somebody loves you, they'll love you for you, not what you have, not your situation, just you. Just the same way God does. And I told her about my sexual insecurity. And you know what she said? And this was a long distance relationship too. And she said, we don't even have to do all that. I don't care about doing all that. Just being able to spend time with you would be nice. Literally word for word. I still remember that to this day, because that helps me to remember that no matter what circumstance I'll be, if God wills it, there will be a woman that just loves me for me. And sadly, that didn't really open my eyes. And the lust just kept feeding me, and that's ultimately what had the relationship, break off. It wasn't necessarily because I was talking about sex a lot, but it was because it made me very insecure and overthink a lot. Because there was this incident where I was talking to a friend of mine that was a girl, and I didn't cheat or nothing. But the way that I was talking at that time, I talk the same way to everybody. When I say that I don't put on an act to talk to people, I just speak how I am. I just talk the way I talk. I talk the way to everybody. Literally the way I was talking when my girlfriend said she liked me was the same way that I talk now. Well, it's a little better. It's the same way that I would talk to everybody, and the same way I kind of talk now. Saying a lot of buffoonery. Saying anything that comes to my head. So I was talking to my friend that's a girl, and I was just saying a lot of things, going back and forth. We was arguing a arguing a little bit, like playful arguing. And we had that conversation, then we just leave it alone. We don't really think about it. She goes to do her own thing. I'm playing a game with the bros. And then out of nowhere, a few hours later, one of my girlfriend's friends asked me if y'all dating. Like the girl I was talking to, the friend I was talking to, he asked me, are y'all dating? And we both said no. That's all we said. And he just kept like pushing it. I'm not sure what made him think we were dating, but he thought we was dating. We kept saying no and no and no. And I was thinking very simple. So I didn't think in my mind to say I have a girlfriend, even though I admitted it publicly in the server multiple times, but that person wasn't really active, so I guess. But I just ain't anything to do at that time. And we kept saying no, 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 and then he kept thinking that we're dating. And then my girlfriend's other friend that she met that same year, who she became very close to, said to me, so you're just not gonna say that you have a girlfriend? And then everything it was over in the second she said that. Cause her friend, my girlfriend's friend that she knows in real life, just took off. He's like, what? You're dating? Huh? And you? What? And like, the thing is, I was going to say that I was. But again, this is where my unnecessary overthinking came in. Because I was like, does she want people to know? Does she like this and that? Obvious questions I knew the answer to. But for some reason, I just didn't do it. And honestly, to this day, I feel like there was a divine intervention. Because I went to send that message, but I felt something hold my hand. Like I felt, like literally when I went to press enter on my keyboard, my hand literally stopped. My hand literally stopped. And it felt like something was holding it. Like something was holding me to stop me from sending that message. Then, situation escalates. My girlfriend's friend, who was a guy that she knows in real life, told her about the situation. It escalated between me and her. I was being very self-defensive because I was nervous, so I was just saying anything, which made her even more upset. And then, the next day comes around, I apologize, like I actually apologize. I say my side. I don't try to make any excuses. I just simply say it how it is. I send that paragraph. She responds and she says, I don't think we should be together anymore. And then I try to explain a bit more. And maybe I was making excuses, but from what I remember, I was just genuinely telling her how I felt that night. Like what I was feeling during that situation that night. And she said she wasn't really mad, but she just felt that it was best. And I'm not gonna say the whole situation because that would take a while. But yeah, simply because of my overthinking and also my carelessness for how I should have been talking, knowing that I'm in a relationship, led to my relationship breaking. And I take accountability because I know I wasn't treating or acting in a way that would have shown my girlfriend the respect that she deserved at that time. So that was just an eye-opener to me. And still remains an eye-opener and a reminder to this day. And I really cried over this girl. Like, it took a while, but when I was reflecting on moments we had, not even the lustful ones, like when I say this was a girl that I was truly loving, like for real, like, it wasn't even the lustful parts that was running through my head. It was simply just her company and just being able to talk to her every day. Waking up, saying good morning, stuff like that. That really got to me. And then, yeah, we remained friends for a bit. But honestly, the feeling of seeing her, I just couldn't do it. So, kind of cut myself off from her. I haven't talked to her in like years, so hope she's doing good. But yeah, fast forward, I'm heartbroken, so I'm trying to fill the void of relationships. Trying to go from relationship to relationship. Doesn't work out. Going into more porn. This comes around a time that I think I like men. So I start watching all types of porn. Start looking at my own body as, just a tool for pleasure. Just seeing the fruits of not knowing my self-worth and just feeling like I'm nothing for real. Eating very unhealthy, consuming lots of drinks, not like alcohol, but I was drinking sodas consistently, eating a lot of sweets, just sinking deeper into a dark place. And it just came to a point where like, bro, what am I doing? I don't know what I'm doing. I don't have a purpose. I don't know where I'm going. I don't even know what I want to do after high school, because I was in high school at this time. And this is around the time where I'm scrolling on TikTok, and now I'm starting to see videos about God. Like, I'm starting to see videos of people saying, let me pray for you. And me being fully in my flesh and being dead in my spirit, I'm like, bro, these videos are boring. I would watch some of them to the end, but I was like, scroll. But when I did that, I'll feel a type of conviction, because I did believe God. I did have some type of affection for God. Like, there was times when I was younger that I would pray and stuff like that, but so I had some type of conviction there. But for the most part, swipe. Yeah, that's cool, bro. Swipe. But the more I'm seeing my lifestyle, I start to have a desire, or I'm just give all glory to God on this. A desire starts growing in me where I'm like, bro, I want to be better. I want to stop watching porn. Like, bro, I'm doing all these things and I feel disgusted with myself. Like, I'm looking in the mirror, I'm like, gang, well, what are you doing, bro? Like, my life literally felt like black and white. Like, there was no color to my life at all. So fast forward, I'm talking to my friend who's also trying to get better himself. I'm gonna call him like the self-help friend, brother. And this was like the second person that I was very close to. Cause somehow, when I would fall in my walk with Christ, when I started following God, every time I would fall, or I was just in a tough situation, somehow, He would always be there. Like, if I fall into temptation, the next day or that same hour, he's like, yo, Nate, you good? I'm like, while I'm drowning, why are you texting me? How do you even know to text me at this time? Again, God works in mysterious ways, bro. But he starts helping me to, look at women better, how I should be in a relationship and how I should just be for myself. So, started trying to work on myself. And one day I just decided to come to God. Like one night, I'm just talking to God, saying I tried to do it on my own. What I was wrong, I need your help, yada, yada, yada. And from there, I can truly say my life has truly changed. This video is literally an hour long. Golly, but to make it more long story short, life starts coming back into my life. The more I've been reading the Bible for the past 2-3 years, the more he's been increasing my understanding, the more I'm learning how I can actually walk in this life. Because again, I overthink. So even with God, I'm overthinking like, God, am I doing this right? How do I avoid sin? Can't avoid sin. How do I do this? How do I do that? How, God, this is stressful. Please help me. I low-key want to quit. Even recently, I've been feeling like the Israelites when they went to going back to Egypt while they're being guided by God into the wilderness. I'm like, God, how can I do this? How? I'd rather just go back. Even though really I don't want to go back, but it's better than this. Because I'm uncomfortable, I'm scared, I don't know where I'm going. And that's where your faith is tested right there. Because we are not supposed to have everything figured out. That's why we need God. God is the one who leads us. God is the one who gives us direction. It's not for us. It's not our place to find our own direction. Us trying to find our own direction is what got us lost in the first place. So it's all on us being obedient to God and just trusting in his leadership. And trusting that he does care for you and he loves you and he wants the best for you. So he will lead you. He's already led you into life everlasting through the sacrifice of his son, Jesus Christ, who was crucified on the cross and bled out and died and was stabbed, slapped, crucified, mocked. Went all through that to be crucified on the cross and died for all of your sins, past, present, future, and then rose again on the third day, symbolizing 1, free from sin, 2, free from death. Jesus, through his sacrifice, defeated both sin and death on the cross. And by raising physically, signify that in him there is a spiritual resurrection. Because this world will pass away. God is going to come back and purge all the evil and give those who are faithful to him, who are obedient to him, who loved him and showed that by following his commandments and being faithful in the spirit and putting away the things of the world and sacrificing their lives in the world to follow him. Those are the people who's going to raise up. He's going to raise up on Judgment Day because those are his sheep. And those are the same people who, when those trumpets sound, are going to be filled with joy because they know their Father that stuck with them through thick and thin and was able to believe that has now come back just like he said he would. God said he'll never leave you nor forsake you. And the more I grow in Christ, the more I'm able to believe that. So honestly, the moral of the story, bro, is that God never leaves you. He never has left you. Through the moment you came out your mother's womb, and even before that, before the foundations of the world were set, God knew you, loved you, cared for you, and had great plans for you. So just like God brought me out of my turmoil, showed me my self-worth by showing me that I am valuable to Him, that I am His child, I do have purpose. Everything that He showed to me that I now carry with me in my life. And now my life actually has color. My mind is the clearest it's ever been. Even when I overthink, He comforts me through His word. Through His just being able to sit down in a quiet place knowing He's there and feeling His presence. Who I was then and who God has transformed me to who I am now, and given me a purpose to uplift and encourage and help other people, and day by day increasing my confidence and my faith, and just helping me to live a life that was never supposed to be complicated. It's just me trusting Him, increasing in understanding, and being obedient, learning how to be obedient, learning His voice. I promise you, if you just let God take the reins and just live natural in the ways of the Spirit, the more you live in the ways of the Spirit, the more that type of living is going to become, because it's a process. You're transferring from one lifestyle to the next. That's like somebody who is fat now living a disciplined life to live a life that's more healthier in both body, mind, and even spirit. So it's not just its whole religious ideal, it's simply just a way of life. And everybody goes through those phases differently. But what I've learned and what my personal belief is, that new life of a better mindset, of a better life, of prosperity, is only truly found in God. So this is my testimony. I hope I said things in the way that I can. I usually be all over the place with these things, but yeah, that's my testimony. How God saved me from deep addiction and lots of insecurities and overthinking and very low self-esteem. And just remember, bro, that just be you, and whatever God had planned for your life, just from you being you, that it's just gonna fall into place. You don't gotta force anything. Like, I'm literally alone. I'm not really alone, but I'm alone. I'm not alone in the spiritual, but honestly, there's gonna be times I feel alone in the physical because of who I decided to split from. And I pray the best for all my brothers. If they ever watch this all the way through, you know, just want them to know that I love them. Always have, always will. And I pray that, you know, God can save them from everything that they might go through in their lives and really know His character and how loving He is. And maybe I'll pass, we'll cross again. And God works in mysterious ways. So, this was my testimony. I hope it helped you and edified you in some way, shape, or form. And I hope you have a great rest of your day, night, evening, whenever you may be watching this. And one more thing, just don't lose hope, bro. As long as you cling to God, you'll be alright. So, until next time, God bless.